Today, we're digging into the story of a man who's made a truly remarkable jump, from a behind-the-scenes political operator to a corporate giant, and all of it seemingly in the blink of an eye. His name is Farhash Wafa Salvador.
And that, right there, is the big question we're tackling. How does someone so deeply connected to political power suddenly pop up at the top of major, publicly listed companies? Is it pure business genius, or is there something more going on? All right, let's get into it. To really wrap your head around this, you have to appreciate the sheer speed of his rise. We're talking about a corporate buying spree that would be wild for even the most experienced business tycoon. Now, the timing here, it's everything. Just look at these dates. We're talking weeks, mere weeks, after his longtime political patron Anwar becomes prime minister, and Farhash's corporate career just goes into hyperdrive. In December, he's executive chairman of a financial firm. The very next month, chairman of 7-Eleven Malaysia. A few months after that, another executive chairman role at a tech company. I mean, the pace is just breathtaking. And believe me, it didn't stop there. At his peak, Farhash was the chairman of 5 publicly listed companies, all at the same time. This kind of concentration of power in one person's hands left market watchers, and this is a direct quote, both impressed and alarmed.
So, the natural question is how? How did this even happen? Well, to figure that out, we have to rewind a bit and look at where his influence really comes from, his deep, deep roots in the world of politics.
You know, Farhash wasn't some newcomer who just showed up. His whole political career was really built on one single thing: absolute loyalty. He got on board with Anwar Ibrahim's political party way back in 2004 and just worked his way up, making himself an indispensable ally through years and years of political chaos.
This slide really breaks down his power base perfectly. He basically had 2 engines running at full throttle. As political secretary to Anwar, he was the gatekeeper, right? He had a direct line to the very center of national power. At the same time, as the party chairman for the state of Perak, he was building his own powerful political machine at the local level.
Okay, so you've got all this political capital, the kind that takes decades to build up. How exactly do you turn that into corporate gold? To get that, we need to look at the playbook itself. And there's one case study that really shows how the lines between politics and business can get blurry.
And this whole thing revolves around a government IT services company called High-Tech Purdue. What happened here became a textbook example of how just being close to power can turn into very real, very big economic opportunities.
Pay really close attention to this timeline, because the sequence is what matters. On March 11th, a huge tech firm buys a big chunk of High-Tech Purdue. On that exact same day, the company's critical government contract gets extended. Then just 3 days later, Farhash suddenly appears as the company's single biggest shareholder. The timing? Well, to put it mildly, it was pretty incredible. And the story doesn't even end there. Right after all these moves, High-Tech Purdue lands another massive government contract, this one for ICT infrastructure, worth an incredible 190 million ringgit. Now, here's where it gets really fascinating. It's how the investment was structured. Farhash's shares were held through a company he co-owned with the Sultan of Kelantan. Some analysts have started calling this the Royal Shield Gambit. Think about it. When you weave your business deals with royalty, any investigation becomes politically explosive and, frankly, legally treacherous. It's a brilliant way to keep people from looking too closely. Things got so heated that a senior figure from Farhash's own party, Rafizi Ramli, actually issued this warning in public directly to the Prime Minister. Now, comparing someone to Joe Low in Malaysia, that is serious. It's a direct reference to the guy at the center of the massive 1MDB scandal. It was basically someone screaming that a fire had broken out.
So what's the takeaway from all this? Let's zoom out for a second. What does the super-fast rise of one man mean for a country that's been trying to push this story of reform and clean governance?
A lot of analysts would say Farhash's story is a perfect example of something they call the proximity principle. It's basically the art of taking something you can't really touch, like loyalty or having the prime minister's ear, and converting it into something very, very real, like huge government contracts and seats on powerful boards.
And look, this isn't your granddad's simple patronage game. Farhash seems to represent a new, much more sophisticated kind of power broker. You formally leave politics, so you have plausible deniability. You flash elite credentials, like a certificate from Harvard, to give it all a shine of merit. You target smart, high-value sectors like tech, and you team up with established players and even royalty for protection. It's a whole new playbook.
So in the end, his story leaves us with this really provocative, kind of unsettling question. Are we just watching the story of one guy's incredible ambition play out? Or does his rise show that, despite all the talk of reform, the old game of patronage and influence in Malaysia never really went away? It just got a modern makeover.